Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days in today's video. And we'll also have a look at the weather for the next month with CFSV2 as well. This evening we're going to have the second update for the Easter weekend, covering the full Easter period this evening. But we're going to start off talking about the competition. On Sunday we're going to be teaming up with metcheck.co.uk weather instrumentation, and we're going to be giving away a prize. And I'm going to have more about the prize that we're going to be giving away in a couple of days' time. So you'll be able to see what that prize is in a couple of days. And then we launch a competition on Sunday. We run it for a week with the final day of the competition being on Sunday the 16th of April, which is Easter Sunday. That is when our winner will be announced. So stand by for more on the competition with metcheck.co.uk in a couple of days' time. Going to start off with the central temperature for today's video. So we've got the number. We haven't yet got the number in for March, but we have got a number for April. This is quite unusual what's going on here. So what's happened is that they have updated with the CET at Hadley. It's showing that for April, provisional up to the 3rd, up to yesterday, we stand at 9.9, which is an anomaly of 3.4 degrees above average. Huge anomaly so far. More interesting in March, though, the March central England temperature at the moment is showing 8.6, which is an anomaly of nearly 3 degrees above average, 2.9. However, that is saying provisional, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there, because normally when they start showing this month's number, they finalise the previous month, if you see what I mean. So, for example, when they began showing February's number, they would have finalised January, and so on. So, not sure what's going on there, but I assume that the final number is going to be 8.6 degrees. And it's been a long time since we've had a central temperature that warm. That may be why it's taking a little bit longer just to finalise that number, because it is quite a surprisingly high number, that 8.6. So this is the list of central England temperatures by month going back to 1659. It's the longest running temperature series anywhere in the world. The last time we had a March that had a temperature above 8 degrees was back in 2012. This year just here came out at 8.3. Incidentally, the next year, 2013, we had a very cold March at 2.7. That was the coldest March since, I think, about 1883, something like that. But anyway, we're looking at warm Marches this year, and the last time we was in the 8s in terms of the central temperature for March was 2012. Before that, we have to go back to 1997, which came out at 8.4. That was even warmer in 1997. Of course, this is 2017 just here, and we haven't yet got the final number. That would be placed just there when they do finalise that CET for March. So 2012, 8.3, and then going back to 1997 at 8.4. When was the last time for that we had a year in the 8s in terms of March? That was 1990, 8.3. So again, you see that this March, if it does come out at 8.6, it's above all of those years back to 1990. Let's carry on back and see if we can find another year that comes out with a CET above 8.0. Have to go quite a way back, and we do come to one. We come to 1961. March 1961 has a central temperature of 8.2. So still above that as well. How much further back have we got to go? Well, not a huge number of years further back. We actually go back to 1957. And that year we had a March central temperature of 9.2, above where we are for March 2017. So it looks, and that's by the way, 957 is the central temperature record for March. Hasn't been one that's warmer than that at 9.2. So it looks as though if that 8.6 that we see just here if that 8.6 is how we finish up for March 2017, it looks like we've had our warmest March in the central England region since probably 1957. So 60 years since the last time we had a March as warm as the one that we've just experienced. Quite incredible to think that it's been such a long time since we've had a March that warm, or warmer indeed, than March 2017. I'll let you know when they do finalise that number at Hadley. Now, as we can already see, the temperature in April is continuing to be as warm, if not warmer, because for the first 3 days we're at 9.9, incredible anomaly of 3.4 degrees above average. And more mild weather to come through the next few days as well. So these are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles next 2 weeks. The red line here is the 30-year temperature average. That's where we are right now, significantly milder than average. Temperatures are going to be lifting up towards the weekend. So over the weekend into the start of next week, we may find temperatures getting very close towards 20 degrees again at some point over the weekend and start of next week. However, through the course of next week, and that's this period just here, we are seeing the temperatures lowering. So we're dropping the temperatures, we're going back towards the 30-year temperature average. There was a suggestion a couple of days ago that we might turn things quite cold through the second week of April. There's no real evidence of that at the moment within the GFS ensembles. We are going to see the temperatures reducing. We're going to go back closer to average, but there's no sign of a especially cold spell coming up there. Although just around the 13th, which is this period just here, do get a little bit of a colder interlude on some of those ensemble members. It looks as though it's fairly short-lived. Temperature anomalies are coming out milder than average. How many times have we said that over the past few weeks? So from the 4th to the 12th of April, we've got a milder than average temperature anomaly, as we have through most parts of Europe as well. Precipitation anomalies are also coming out drier than average, so a mild and dry period coming up. We saw it on the ensembles. This is how the generic charts looking there. This is the GFS for Saturday. High pressure is dominating the weather. The winds are starting to pull up from the south or the southeast, so not only will it be mostly dry, it's also going to be turning increasingly warm, I think, over the weekend. We've got Grand National at the weekend. I think conditions for that do look pretty much ideal at Aintree on Saturday. Into Sunday, the high pressure still dominating, winds are from the south, but you notice pressure is lowering out to the west. So by the end of Sunday, we might be finding some rain coming in from the Atlantic. However, winds are in from the south, so it'll be pretty warm, and those temperatures could well be approaching around 20 degrees again, I would have thought, over the weekend. That's going to boost the CT even more. We get through into sort of next week, and low pressure is beginning to break in from off the Atlantic, and then we turn more unsettled. We saw it on the ensembles. Looks like it's going to be turning cooler and more unsettled through the course of next week. So low pressure comes in from the west. That brings cloud and outbreaks of rain across the country. Into middle of next week, it does look genuinely unsettled. It's an area of low pressure over Scotland at 990 millibars, so pretty low pressure. Showers, longer spells of rain with that, and winds coming down from the northwest as well. Heading up towards Easter, we go to day 10, which is Good Friday. Looks like we're still in an unsettled sort of mode. Low pressures up to the north and west. There's a little bit of a ridge across southern parts of England. I don't think that would last too long. These areas of low pressure, I think, will flatten that ridge off quite quickly, probably giving us a fairly cool and unsettled Easter weekend. But of course, I'll have more about Easter around 7 o'clock this evening. This is the east end of the earth. Again, high pressure dominating as we go through into the weekend. The winds are pushing up from the south, so not only will it be dry and settled over the weekend, or mostly dry and settled, we'll also find warmer air coming back from the south as well. Into the start of next week, and unsettled conditions up in the northwest. It's a little bit closer with the ridge down to the southwest, so it implies that the southern and southwestern parts of the country maybe not as unsettled early next week. but it does look quite unsettled for the north. Then into the middle part of next week, the ECM was trying to pull down a little bit of a northerly wind. This is taking us to Thursday the 13th of April. On to day 10, which is Friday the 14th of April. High pressure still close to us. It does unsettle this as the GFS, but it is a bit cooler. The wind actually does go into the north there on Maundy Thursday, so that under this ridge of high pressure on Good Friday, we're probably looking at night frost and maybe some showers in the east, but still a fair amount of dry and settled weather in with that. Finally, just having a look at the CFS V2 for the next month. So these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week periods. The first week period taking us from the 4th through the 10th of April. The coming week shows a strong influence of high pressure. Got a big ridge there over not just the UK but many western parts of Europe. We're on the mild side of the jet stream as we have been so often recently, and that's one of the reasons why we've come out with such a warm March. Having a look at week 2, we go from the 11th through to 17th of April, and we find low pressure up to the north. We've got a ridge down to our south, so it's a little bit more unsettled. The flow coming through like that. The jet stream's a little bit closer to us, particularly for Scotland and Northern Ireland. It might be more on the unsettled side with that one. Then we go through to week 3, which takes us from the 18th to the 24th of April. Again, above average heights up to the north and northeast, below average heights out to the west. So we're doing something like that with the flow and the jet stream. Again, it is more unsettled, but probably fairly mild, if not quite warm, actually, with the air coming in from a southerly or southwesterly direction. And then we finish up week 4, which is the 25th of April, through to the start of May, through to May Day, 1st of May. And we've got a ridge of above average heights to our east and northeast. We've got the trough out to west, and we're doing that with the jet stream. And again, we're probably pulling up quite warm air from the south. So the CFS is seeing this warm weather fest that we've been in. Well, we've been in it for quite a few months now, actually. We turned very mild in December, and we generally stayed very mild ever since. The CFS is seeing this warm weather fest continuing for the next month. It does turn a bit more unsettled there for a time through the middle phase of April. But overall, there's a lot of anticyclonic influences. The air is generally coming up from a southwesterly or southerly direction, so it's remaining pretty mild throughout all of this. And generally just quite warm conditions continuing through the next month with CFS V2. That's all highly experimental, of course. But for the next week to 10 days, anyway, you're going to have a lot of settled weather. Going to be mostly dry and increasingly warm over the weekend. Into the start of next week, it does look like it's going a bit more unsettled, but not seeing anything particularly cold. Temperatures probably, with the unsettled weather, staying on the mild side. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.